So you're looking for some Florida native plant landscaping? Well, you're in the right spot, because we've been taking this space right behind me and converting it from blah to totally native. And today we're going to be covering a native plant called Seaside Goldenrod. Scientific name, Solidago sempervirens, also known as Seaside Goldenrod. Seaside Goldenrod is the tallest of the native goldenrods, and its native range, well, it's big. It goes from Canada all the way down the east coast of Florida over to the Texas, and also can be found in the Caribbean. Seaside Goldenrod likes full sun, and it is drought tolerant, and the name says it's seaside. So you may be thinking, I've got a beachfront house, I'd like to get some native plants, I'm gonna put this in front of it. And it may or may not work. See, it's drought tolerant, it doesn't mind some salt, but it does not want to be wet. So it cannot be right where it's gonna get, like the waves on it all the time, but it naturally occurs on the back sides of seaside dunes. So if you're on the beach and you're looking for a native plant, this will work for you. But even if you live in the typical burbs like I do, or urban area, I don't know, I'm kind of in that space where it's like it's urban, it's suburban, who knows. But it will work in your classic looking Florida yard also. I'm really excited to add this to this project because I think this one, when we talk about the look, structurally, I mean, it's got these tall, I don't know what you want to call them, fronds, grasses. I mean, it's got these long stems, we'll go with stems. They get up to 6 feet tall. I think I even read that they could get up to 8 feet tall depending on where they're growing. But typically in Florida, they don't get up beyond 6 feet tall. They get this, I mean, it's a pretty plant. Pretty. What I think makes this plant so interesting to add to your yard is that it gets so tall. It gets 6, I've read even up to 8 feet tall. I think that was more outside of Florida than within Florida. But the height, you have these long stems that are waving in the wind. I think it just creates such visual interest. And because of that, you can create a lot of height in a very small space, because unlike a lot of shrubby bushes, which are gonna go wide, this will stay pretty narrow. Now, of course, like lots of natives, it will self-seed and will naturally propagate all on its own. And you can have runners with more of it coming up. You can propagate it through the seeds from the plant, and you can also go and divide it. So that's exciting. I mean, don't we love getting free plants from ourselves? Yeah. Now this plant is beautiful. I think besides that beautiful waving movement of the stems, you also get these beautiful yellow flowers in the fall time. They come from late July all the way through October, and they are yellow. I think this is just like, it gives you the fall look, right? The look, and we're always looking for the look in our gardens. Now, don't just think that these flowers are just for the beauty factor. Of course, they're gonna be helping our wildlife. So the seeds, the birds like the seeds. And specifically, these yellow flowers are what help the monarch as it travels south during its fall migration. And speaking of wildlife, this plant, well, it's gonna attract, we're always looking for those host plants that are gonna bring in so that, the bugs put their babies on them. Specifically, this one's gonna attract predatory wasps. So the great thing about this is having this near, if you've got a vegetable garden or a food forest and you're worried about having those aphids or scaly, all the different types of bugs that are gonna go eat all your plants, well, having this nearby would be really good, because the predatory wasps, well, they're gonna put their little babies over there, and then they're gonna be really hungry and they need to go get all those aphids. Yeah. The other great thing is that those larvae, you're thinking, great, now I'm gonna have all these wasps. Well, here's a nice thing, is that those larvae are specifically eaten by woodpeckers. So, hey, if you got some woodpeckers and you're looking to give them some food too, add Seaside Goldenrod. Another interesting thing about Seaside Goldenrod is that, similar to like our pine trees, it does have a natural burn cycle to help propagate it. Now, don't go burn your house down. Like I said before, you can still use the seeds and dividing method to propagate it, but if you were in an area that does get fires, I mean, it will do really well there. So when I think about Seaside Goldenrod and the goals that we have for the area, so shade, okay, so it likes full sun, but because I'm gonna put it on the southern wall, it is gonna definitely create some shade for the area. Now, the jasmine that was there had a very dense, it's not gonna get dense like this, but it's gonna give a lot of height, movement, and I think it's gonna give enough to cool down that wall. So I'm good with that. When we talk about, is it a native plant? Well, yeah, of course, it's a native plant. And oh, by the way, you can grow it all throughout the state, and it grows all throughout the state natively. I don't know for every county, but many counties. And then another thing is that, oh, of course, when we talk habitat, what's really cool about Seaside Goldenrod is that not in this area where I'm gonna have it, but if you were to have it in a bigger clump, that seaside birds actually use this for nesting and from hiding from predators. So if you have large amounts of it, this is really helpful for creating shelter for birds, not only food. And then of course, when we talk about food for you, food for me, yes, we already talked about it's gonna give seeds for our birds. It's definitely gonna be good for our pollinators. We're gonna help some predatory wasps, which may help us if we're growing our own food. Now, when it comes to being edible for us, there are other types of goldenrods that are edible to humans. This one, I couldn't find anything that verified it. I did hear that just broadly goldenrod, when it comes to Native Americans, that they used it in teas and for different like medicinal purposes, but I couldn't identify that this one specifically was okay to go and eat, though there are other ones that people have verified. So just know that. Maybe it's edible, maybe it's not. And when we think about our last goal, which is the look, this one, you know, here's the thing. A lot of Florida yards, they've got their St. Augustine grass, they've got their variegated Schefflera, they've got their crotons, they've got their standard queen palm, and I mean, just like everyone's yard can look really the same. But this, I think it's different. It's got such a different look than what you usually see in a yard, and it's got that movement, the structure with the stems is different, you've got these beautiful yellow flowers that come out in the fall. I mean, I just think this is gonna be beautiful, but unique from what most people are gonna have in your yard. So if you're looking for something that's unique looking, yeah, think about adding this. I think this is just gives a totally different look, and it's more of a true Florida look, right? Let's be real about it. I am so excited to add goldenrod to my yard, especially an edible type, and that's what's up next. Sweet goldenrod. And to make sure you don't miss it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. New videos each week on Friday and sometimes a bonus on Sunday. And if you want to support the channel, go ahead and click that join button down below. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.